And you're trying to give the young people something that will help them. Yet you don't know exactly what it ought to be.
Thanks for tuning in again. My name is Drew Perkins. I'm the director of TeachThought Professional Development. And just a quick reminder that registration for our TeachThought Grow 19 PBL Focus Summer Conference is closing as of tomorrow. Today's publishing date is June 10th, and tomorrow night, regular registration pricing will cease to exist and we'll go into late registration. We hope you can join us for this event. It's our third annual event in downtown Louisville, Kentucky at the always great Fraser History Museum. We will be partnering with the great folks at the National School Reform faculty to do great work on inquiry and the use of protocols, which is their specialty for the pre-conference day, July 16th. Then July 17th through 19th, we'll be focusing on our Foundations of Project-Based Learning workshop, where you will come away with a project ready for implementation in your classroom. So we hope you can join us. And again, registration and details and all of the event information is available at wegrowteachers.com/grow19. Or you can just go to our website, wegrowteachers.com, and look along the top, and you'll see a link to learn more and register. Speaking of websites, we hope that you will visit teachthought.com, which is our main blog site, and wegrowteachers.com is, of course, our professional development site. And don't forget to leave reviews and share the podcast with folks who might be interested. It always helps us to move up in rankings, and that gives more people an opportunity to listen to us, which then helps us get more and better guests. So we thank you in advance and hope that this podcast is helpful for you as an educator deepening your teaching craft. In this podcast episode, I spoke with Izzy Kalman, who connected with me from Israel. Izzy is a psychotherapist who I came across in a New York Times opinion article in the family section that resonated with me as we kind of talked about some of the ways in which we might help empower kids to stand up to bullies and navigate those situations a little more productively. So we touched on what anti-bullying is and the anti-bullying movement and how he thinks that has been really problematic and where it stemmed from. Talked about the idea of objective harm and subjective harm and how those two things are an important distinction. He calls some things, one of the things that he mentioned that really kind of made me laugh was emotional marshmallows, and how we're creating kids who are emotional marshmallows. Some might say it's maybe a bit simplistic, and we touched on that maybe at the end. I do think there's some real work to be done, and how we help kids with language and thinking that disarms bullies, and I think it does a great job in getting at that. Hopefully it's a useful podcast. I think it's a better way to help kids deal with bullying than going to an adult. Again, hopefully you find it helpful and useful. Enjoy. Izzy, welcome to the podcast. I'm happy to have you on Connecting from Israel, and I'd like to give you an opportunity to give our listeners a little bit of context about your life and how you came to the work that we're going to discuss. And so let's go ahead and do that if you would.
Okay, I'll make it simple. At a certain point in my college career, I decided to become a psychotherapist. I decided I want to learn how to help people solve their problems. So I went into psychology. I earned a master's degree in clinical psychology. Then I moved to Israel. I've actually moved here twice, but the first time I was here for 10 years. And I got a job working in schools because they needed psychologists in schools, and it actually happened to be a great place to practice psychology. So I morphed into a school psychologist. But it very quickly became apparent to me that the most common complaint of kids is that other kids are picking on them. But also adults, teachers will complain to me that the principal's picking on them. So I wanted to help them, and I ended up developing a method that uses role-playing to teach people basic psychological principles so they'll understand why people are picking on them and how to stop being picked on. Then I moved back to the United States in 1988, and I began working in schools, and I was developing my method more for teaching kids how to solve their problems by themselves. And then the Columbine shooting happened, and it made bullying a worldwide issue because the two young men who committed this massacre presented themselves as victims of bullying. And it was apparent even before that almost all of these kids shooting up their schools are victims of bullying. But then this field of bullying psychology, which previously had been obscure, I never heard about it, stepped up to the plate with the promise, we have the solution to bullying. But when I saw what they're planning to do, I saw this can't possibly work. They're taking all of the wrong things and prescribing it as the right thing to do. So I began teaching more about it, writing about it, because I had to stop this counterproductive movement. I just had no idea that this movement was going to be so powerful and develop $1 billion industry. So I'm like a lone voice in the wilderness fighting this massive industry that's essentially doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, and I came across your work from an opinion piece, or maybe it's in the family section, and maybe it's both, on the New York Times called How to Bully-Proof Your Child, Teaching Children How to Take the Air Out of the Teasing, in which they reference your book, which is Bullies to Buddies, How to Turn Your Enemies into Friends. So this New York Times article or piece was May 23rd, so fairly recently. And it resonated with me because I think it's really important for our mindset to shift, kind of as you referenced already. There's this victimhood culture that I've talked with Bradley Campbell about, and in August I'll be talking with Jonathan Haidt about coddling of the American mind, and I know you referenced that in some of your other work in Psychology Today, a 2-part article. But I guess tell our listeners, like, what is different about your approach to bullying. And well, why don't we do this first? Let's define the opposite, which is this anti-bullying movement, which, like, the idea that we would be against anti-bullying seems, on the face of it, sort of absurd, right? It's sort of like, I don't know if you know Paul Bloom's work, being against empathy, but it's the complexity and the nuance, like, what does that mean and what are the implications? So let's back up a little bit and define that anti-bullying movement.
It's a very good point, because bullying really is evil. The academic definition of bullying today is the same definition as evil. Evil is using your power to torment weaker people. And you do it over and over again because you're evil. That's your nature. Well, that's what bullying is. When a bully is somebody who picks on people weaker themselves and intentionally torments them. So the anti-bully movement is essentially an anti-evil movement. So how can anybody be against it? It sounds so good.
Right.
But my favorite saying is, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. It's brilliant. Very few people have bad intentions, but good intentions alone are not enough to make your behavior positive and moral. If what you're doing makes things worse, it's not good.
Right. So then the anti-bullying movement is defined how? Or how would you define it?
Okay. The movement is about guaranteeing people, and especially children, the right not to be bothered by anybody else. The children have a right to go to school without anybody doing anything that's going to make it hard for them to concentrate on learning, which of course is, people picking on them. So there cannot be a right not to be picked on people. That happens in heaven, and you have to die to get in after being a good person. On this world, you don't have a right to have everybody treat you well.
Right, right. And so it reminds me of that sort of mindset of not being offended. Like being offended, first of all, for me it's pretty odd. That in and of itself is an odd thing. I can remember so few times when I was actually offended. I'm not even sure how I would actually define that word. And then bullying, I think is similar there. And I don't have a right to not be offended. I certainly don't want to be offended. I don't want to be bullied. I don't want to be picked on or things like that. But that the world doesn't guarantee me that. And so the anti-bullying movement is well-intentioned, but has gone astray in what ways?
The anti-bullying movement confuses crime with the ordinary kinds of things that upset people. I put negative behaviors in two categories. One category is behaviors that cause objective harm. And a behavior that causes objective harm means that if you do it to me and I get hurt, you hurt me. A classic example is if you hit me over the head with a baseball bat. If you hit me with a baseball bat and I get hurt, who hurt me?
Well, the person swinging the bat.
Yeah, if you hit me with a baseball bat, you hurt me. My attitude towards your action has no bearing on how much pain and damage it's going to do to me. If I like a baseball bat, it's still going to smash my skull in. So all actions throughout the world that are universally treated as crimes, and by a crime I mean something that's punishable, cause objective harm. Things like rape, theft, murder, arson. All societies in the world make these things illegal. So it's the job of the law enforcement system to protect us from these actions. And if somebody does them to us, we can call the police on them and we can sue them. Mm-hmm. There are actions that cause subjective harm. That means that if you do it to me and I get hurt, I hurt myself. The classic example is insults. If you call me an idiot and I get upset, who made me upset?
Yeah, so the receiver there is choosing or allowing the emotions to happen, right? So
if you call me an idiot and I get upset, I really hurt myself, because what percentage does it depend on me if your insult is going to hurt me?
Right.
100% is completely up to me. So we can't make that into a crime. I can't call the police on you or get the authorities against you if you said something that hurts my feelings. Mm-hmm. But almost all bullying is verbal. Insults, the great majority of bullying is insults, mm-hmm. put downs, social exclusion, and even most physical fights. A physical attack can be treated as a crime. Mm-hmm. But most physical attacks among kids begin with words. Kids insult each other, they get angry, and before you know it, they're hitting each other. But if you take something that causes subjective harm and you treat it like a punishable crime, it leads to objective harm. Because, Drew, let's say you insult me. I tell the teacher on you that you bullied me. Now you get sent to the principal's office, and the principal accuses you of bullying me. Mm-hmm. Are you going to like me better?
No, and that's one of the dynamics that I think comes into play that is a problem, because the reporting is actually potentially going to cause more damage.
Exactly. One of the worst things you can do to somebody is to try to get them in trouble with the authorities. So you're going to hate me for getting you sent to the principal's office. Are you going to admit that you're guilty?
Of course not.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. Izzy started with me. So now you're defending yourself. You're blaming me. You're angry. You hate me now. You're going to get all of your friends against me. If the school decides against you, you're angry at the school also. Mm-hmm. So now you really want to hurt me.
Right.
If you carefully read the news articles about bullying that led to serious violence, it almost always happens after the school gets involved, following anti-bullying policies, investigating, interrogating, judging, and punishing.
So there's at least a couple threads to pull on here. One, which is the student or the kid or even the adult who might be the subject of the insults or bullying. But there's also the adults and the structures and how we might do things differently. So I want to sort of plant a flag and let's start with the kids, and then I'd like to come back to adults and how we might do things differently in that in trying to help kids navigate this kind of landscape better and differently. So yeah. when we talk about kids, the old adage of sticks and stones will break my bones isn't really in play anymore. That's kind of the opposite right now. So there are, to the point of microaggressions of anything might like almost the default mindset is in many cases is to assume that somebody is saying something that might be injurious to you. And I'm not saying that people aren't malicious sometimes, but that I think is a dangerous standpoint from which to operate. But what do you recommend kids do differently than what the anti-bullying movement might ask them to do?
Okay, very good. What the anti-bullying movement is doing is trying to convince everybody or force everybody to stop engaging in bullying. Don't be a bully. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't work well because people don't think they're bullies. Hardly anybody thinks they're a bully. The bully is the other person. Mm-hmm. So when we tell kids, don't bully anybody, it's bad, it hurts them, the kids don't think, oh, I better stop bullying people. What they think is, oh, yeah, they better stop bullying me. So we've had 20 years of anti-bullying teaching, and it's not working. We've raised a generation of what I call emotional marshmallows, children who believe that they're entitled to a life in which nobody says or does anything that they don't like. And that leads to the microaggressions that you spoke about. Nobody's allowed to do a microaggression, to ask me where I'm from because it might offend me. What, I'm not from here? So everybody who comes for help is a victim. Nobody comes for help saying, you know what, I'm a bully, I'm too powerful, people are intimidated by me, please help me get rid of my power. Everybody who comes for help is a victim. I'm being picked on, they're treating me badly. So I can't, if you come to me for help, now you told me your father is a psychologist. When people come to him for help and they say, people are treating me badly, does he tell them, oh, tell me who they are, I'm going to go after them, I'm going to make them become nice to you? Mm-hmm. Did he ever do that?
Of course not.
Of course not. You have to work with the person who's asking for help. You can't go around changing the world to help your clients. But that's what the anti-bully movement is doing. Tell me who's bothering you, I'm going to go make them stop. But that usually makes it worse because then they get angry at you and they say it's your fault. But if somebody comes to me because they're a victim, I can teach them how not to be a victim. And then nobody bullies them anymore. And they become empowered and they don't need everybody's help and they don't get anybody in trouble, so they're not a snitch anymore.
Right. So I love the term emotional marshmallows. I'm gonna have to use that going forward. I've not heard that, so I can make some s'mores from emotional marshmallows.
This is what Jonathan Haidt and others are calling snowflakes.
Right. Yeah. So I guess the question that I was going to ask you, you kind of got there a little bit, is how do we empower kids to not go straight to adults? Not that there's not a time where you would want kids to go to adults, because there are certainly times and incidents in which that adults should be involved and should be notified. So we're not saying that, but what we want to do is, as quickly and as soon as possible, is to help our kids, if there are kids or our students, we want them to be as autonomous as possible, as soon as possible, I think. And so how do we empower them to handle these matters in a way that they can do that more autonomously?
A very good question. I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate with you. It's so easy to stop being bullied, especially verbally bullied. I'm going to play a game with you, Drew. Mm-hmm. I play this with everybody I work with. Now, I'm going to do a simplified version because of time. Mm-hmm. But your job in this game is to insult me. My job is to stop you. But don't let me stop you, or I win and you lose.
Okay.
Drew, do you prefer to lose or to win?
I am very competitive.
Okay. So I want you to play to win. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. It's only a game. It's make-believe. I want you to do a good job.
Okay.
If you don't insult me, well, I'll be disappointed, and it'll make a lousy demonstration.
Okay.
And don't work hard. Give me a chance to answer you. Be relaxed. Go ahead.
Okay. Boy, I'm not very good at insulting people. Let's see. Since we were on video, I could say, Izzy, your beard is got a lot of gray in it. You must be getting really old.
I'm not really old. I'm middle aged.
Yeah, you seem like you're an old man. You're probably too old to.
I am not an old man. I can run. I can do push-ups.
Yeah, you can't do it like you used to.
Like I used to. Well, no, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm 60, almost 67.
Yeah, my gosh, like really old.
It's not an old man. I look younger than I am.
Yeah, well, nobody, no pretty women are going to be interested in you anymore. That
is not true. I turn women's heads when I walk down the street.
Yeah, because they're looking at you thinking, man, my gosh, look at that guy. He's
That is not true. I happen to be in pretty good shape. Really, stop laughing. It's not funny. I'm in good shape.
Yeah, what kind of shape?
Good shape. My weight is low for my age. I'm trim. I have good shape. I'm kind of muscular. I'm attractive.
Yeah, that's not what I hear.
From who?
Oh, the women tell me they make fun of you behind your back.
That is not true. Women are attracted to me. Okay, I give up. Drew, you did a super job.
Okay.
You thought it was going to be hard, but you did a really nice job.
Nice.
Was it hard to insult me in this game?
It got easier.
So if you want to insult me, can I force you to stop?
No.
No, because it's only words. It's your mouth and brain. If you want to insult me, you're going to insult me.
Right.
You did a terrific job. We're going to play the same game again. Your job is to insult me, and don't let me stop you.
Okay. So let's go down the same road here. So, Izzy, I saw I was looking at your picture on the video before we got started here, and notice how much gray you have in your beard and your hair. You must be really getting old.
Yeah, every day I'm getting older. It really sucks.
Yeah. So, women must not find you attractive.
Not the way they used to.
Well,
I saw you. You're a really attractive guy.
Well, thank you.
And with that baseball cap, you really look cool also.
Well, thank you. I try to act cool.
Yeah, you look like you're in really good shape.
Well, I'm certainly some kind of shape.
No, but you looked in good shape. I bet you turn women's heads.
Yeah, I think I probably don't turn them near as much as you.
Do you think I turn women's heads in a good way or a bad way?
I don't know.
I would bet women look more at you than they do at me.
Well, that's very nice of you to say.
Thank you. But your job is to insult me.
Yeah, I can't. You're disarming me. I can't.
It's harder this way. Now, we played the game 2 times. Which time was more fun for you?
Boy. Neither of them were very fun because I don't like to insult people very much. But yeah, certainly more fun and I suppose the first time in lots of ways.
Yeah, you sounded like you were having a pretty good time there. Was the second time fun insulting me, or you felt kind of bad insulting me?
Yeah, it felt like I couldn't figure out where to go.
Yeah, you were getting frustrated, and then you start complimenting me. Not only are you not insulting me, you're being nice to me.
Right.
Now, who won the game the first time?
Well, depending.
The game was for me to stop you.
Yeah.
Did I stop you the first time?
No, definitely not.
Went on and on. It got more elaborate. Who won the game the second time?
Definitely not me.
Yeah, I stopped you very quickly. Before long, you're complimenting me instead of insulting me.
Mm-hmm.
Which time could you respect me more?
The second.
Yeah, the first time could you respect me?
No, it's like a scab. It's easier to scratch and itch and dig deeper.
Yeah, and I sounded like a big idiot. How can you respect me?
Right.
The second time, you could respect me because I wasn't getting upset. I was nice to you. I didn't sound like an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Which time did I work harder?
Boy, you sounded like you worked harder in the first time, but
yes.
I'm imagining, and one of my questions is, how hard is it to help kids engage differently like the second time?
Well, I teach them, and it doesn't take long. In one session, I've taught them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm doing with you is a shorter version of what I do with kids.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm done with kids, after about 20, 25 minutes, they know exactly why they've been picked on all this time and how to make it stop. And it's so easy. Okay. And these kids are dying to know how to win. Instead of talking about bullies and victims or targets, it's more important or helpful to think in terms of winning and losing. The bullies are winning, the victims are losing. That's why the bullies feel great and the victims are miserable. The victims are losing, they're dying to know how to win against their bullies. They've been trying so hard to win and nothing works. And they tell the school because they want the school to help them win, and the school makes it even worse. So they come to me and they discover, boy, it's so easy. All I have to do is not get upset and be nice back to the person. Before long, they're nice to me. And it's so easy. The first time, work is burning calories. That's what work is. The first time I'm yelling and screaming and my blood pressure is going up. The second time I'm totally relaxed. I'm letting you say whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that the anti-bully movement has done is outlaw freedom of speech. It's really an assault on freedom of speech. We used to teach sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. Today we're teaching sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can scar me forever. We're teaching kids that a verbal insult is worse than physical injury. And we're punishing kids for insulting each other. We have freedom of speech in this country. We're punishing kids for insulting each other. The first time we played the game, I was trying to deny your freedom of speech. Shut your mouth. You can't talk to me like that. That's not true.
Mm-hmm.
When I was trying to deny your freedom of speech, did that make you want to stop insulting me?
No.
Made you want to continue and you had a great time. The second time, I gave you complete freedom of speech. I let you say whatever you wanted. When I was giving you freedom of speech, did that make you want to continue insulting me?
No.
You wanted to stop.
Right.
So freedom of speech is the solution to verbal bullying, which is most bullying. But now we're teaching kids they're entitled to a life in which nobody insults them. This is counterproductive. It teaches them to get upset when people insult them, to try to get them in trouble, and it makes everything worse. We've gotten rid of freedom of speech instead of promoting it.
So what does the role of insecurity play in this dynamic? Because I would think that bullies often are bullying because of insecurity, and then those who are being bullied often are insecure and lack confidence, and so there's a certain amount of security and confidence, self-confidence that I would imagine it needs to be in place for somebody to be able to respond and sort of stand up to the threats or insults, that kind of thing. Would you agree with that, or am I missing something?
Yeah, of course. Let's say you go to school and you have never learned math, and then you're given some difficult math problems to solve. Are you going to feel secure?
No.
No, because you were never taught how to do it. But let's say you were taught math for years and you've mastered it well, and then you're given these same math problems. Will you feel secure in dealing with them?
I would certainly feel more confident.
Yeah, because you learned how to do it. It's the same thing with insults. If you've never been taught how to deal with it, and in fact, if you've been taught how not to deal with it, if you've been taught that you can't handle it by yourself because it's too difficult and everybody has to help you, you're being unprepared for dealing with it. So you're going to be more insecure. Mm-hmm. But I can teach you in a matter of minutes how to deal with it, and then you're secure.
So is that a temporary proxy for real security? Or I guess let me ask it this way. Do you find that kids who are bullied are often kids who lack a sense of self-confidence and security, not just in that interaction, that dynamic transaction, but just in overall, that they're because I taught emotional behavior disorder kids at one point, and they were just masterful at figuring out what was your weak spot, where was your insecurity. And so, yes. And everybody has insecurities. So
exactly, yes.
It seems to me that a long-term solution to stop from being bullied is to build that security, that confidence, where you have less of those insecurities and they're not as readily, available for attack. Does that make sense?
Yes, because what I'm doing is I'm teaching kids how to deal with being attacked for what they're insecure about. Mm-hmm. If you come to me because you're overweight and kids are calling you fatso, well, you're insecure about your weight, so when kids call you fatso, you're more likely to get upset. Or let's say you have a Middle Eastern name and kids call you terrorist and you don't know how to deal with it, you're going to be very insecure. But once I show you how to deal with it and how easy it is, now you're secure. I've been working with a kid recently. In one session, I turned his life around. He's a boy from a Middle Eastern background. He was born in the States, but he has a Middle Eastern background. Kids were calling him terrorist. They were calling him gay, all kinds of terrible things. And he felt absolutely miserable. I showed him how easy it is to deal with. And now, he's calm again. He's able to go to school and he's not being picked on. And this was after one session.
So let's take a kid who is overweight, and that's an easy one to be insecure about, I would say,
Yes.
and some of that is out of a kid's control, maybe with some genetics. Some of it might be their behaviors and eating things, but so what is a comeback, I guess, if that's the right language, to disarm somebody who says, you're a fatso, because okay. that does get at somebody's real heart of their insecurities.
Yeah. Now, of course, I teach comebacks and I teach kids how to come up with comebacks, but it's really not the accurate way of thinking about it. What I really teach is to treat people like friends. We played the game before two ways. The first time I treated you like an enemy. I was angry at you. I was against you. I was telling you to stop. The second time I treated you like a friend. That was the real difference. So I teach kids how to treat their insulters as friends. So let me show you how to deal with fat insults.
Okay.
But first I'm going to do it the natural way. The natural way is to become defensive and to get angry back.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead. I'm overweight and make fun of me for being overweight.
All right. Izzy, you're such a fatso.
I'm not a fatso. I'm big boned.
Yeah, big boned. Yeah, you're not big boned. You're a fat.
I'm not fat. I'm a little bit overweight. I mean, lots of people are a little bit overweight.
You're like Fat Albert.
I'm not like Fat Albert. Now, stop putting me down.
I see you jiggle when you walk down the street.
I don't jiggle.
How come you never take off your shirt when you're at the swimming pool?
Because I like swimming with a shirt on. I'm sensitive to the sun.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. Leave me alone already. Okay, good job. Am I making you want to stop putting me down for being overweight?
Okay. Izzy, you're a fatso.
No, hold on.
Oh.
Was I making you want to stop?
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Was I making you feel any empathy for me?
No, not at all.
In fact, you're laughing at me. When you listen to the recording,
right.
You will hear yourself laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably think of yourself as a good person. I'm getting upset and you're laughing.
Right.
Now, the bullies are not them, they're us.
Right.
We all have the capacity to have fun putting people down under the right circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Drew, we're going to do it again. I'm going to treat you like a friend.
Okay.
Start again.
Izzy, you're a fatso.
Yeah, you're so skinny. I wish I could be like you.
Yeah, you should be like me because I'm not fat.
Yeah, I know. I try so hard to diet, and every time I lose a few pounds, I just bounce back and I become even heavier. It's terrible.
Okay, so what you're hoping there for is that empathy, and I think that's an interesting piece that I didn't quite understand that in the first go around. And so you're trying to create help kids create that bridge of empathy.
Well, first of all, I want you to stop insulting me, because if I'm overweight and I'm being insulted terribly, there are two problems. One problem is that I'm overweight. It's an objective problem. It's not healthy. It doesn't look good. The other problem is that I'm being picked on. But the being picked on causes me even more misery than being overweight. I can live with myself being overweight, but with everybody calling me fatso and laughing at me, overweight people will tell you the insults hurt them even more than being overweight. So I want people to stop insulting me. Did you notice how quickly I got you to stop insulting me?
Yeah, well, I mean, after the very first reply was I had a hard time coming up with my next line.
Yeah, I wish I could be like you. What more do you have to say? And I'm complimenting you. So if I compliment you, you're going to like me. Yeah. And by the way, just because I'm overweight, it doesn't mean that I can't be popular.
Right.
People don't really care how much I weigh. They care how much they weigh, not how much I weigh. Some of the most popular people in the world are overweight. So it depends how you treat people. If you treat people like enemies because they put you down for being overweight, they'll be your enemies and they won't like you and they'll keep on putting you down and talking about you behind your back. But if you're friendly and nice and you're not upset easily and you treat them like friends, you will have friends and you'll be popular.
So the way that I used to think about and talk about with kids when I taught middle school, and now I have a middle school age daughter, and so we're starting to see some of that behavior. Elementary, I think there's some dynamics like this that happen at elementary, but it's a little different, and more so we start to see it, I think, in middle school ages. She's 12, so we're starting to see some of those insecurities, as I would say, the insecurities in kids coming out as bullying type behavior. And so, one of the things that I used to tell kids when they would come to me and say, so-and-so said something about me, which is a pretty typical sort of form of bullying in a sense. I mean, it may not be face-to-face, kind of like that interaction we just role-played, but it's, so-and-so saying something about me. And when you hear that, it's taken as an insult or maybe even as bullying. And, the question that I would say was, well, is it true? So
excellent.
she said,
excellent.
she said I was a slut. Okay, well, is it true? No. Okay, then why does it matter, right? I mean, do you value that person's opinion so much that it really matters, or the other people that she's telling or he's telling? And if it is true, then maybe you might want to change some of your behaviors. And if it isn't true, then if you're secure in yourself and who you are, then you really don't need the approval of other people. Now, that's an easy way to talk about it, but when you're in middle school, we do want that approval.
Right. So what you're telling your daughter is excellent, really excellent. But explaining to kids what's right doesn't necessarily make it easy for them to do it.
Right.
Because still they come to school and the truth is they're being talked about and being made fun of, so they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
So yes, my father told me it's not true, it shouldn't bother me, but it bothers me.
Yeah.
So if you're a child coming to me for help, I want to teach you exactly what to do about it. So I want you to you be my daughter and tell me that kids are saying bad things about you behind your back. They're calling you a slut or whatever.
Dad, people, girls at school are behind my back. They're calling me a slut.
Really?
Yeah, it hurts my feelings. It makes me sad.
Do they know that it bothers you?
I think so. I think that's why they do it.
You think that's why they do, and that's a good point. Do you want them to stop?
Yes.
Now, do they ever call you slut to your face?
No.
But you hear them doing it?
Yeah, they like joke about me and laugh about me behind my back.
And do you go and tell them to stop?
No, because that's uncomfortable. That's awkward.
So why do you think they do it?
I don't know. It hurts my feelings, though.
Do they know that it hurts your feelings?
I don't know. I've never talked to them about it, but I would think they would.
Yeah, they can probably tell that it hurts your feelings. Now, is there something that you might be doing that makes them think you're a slut?
No, I don't know why they're doing it.
Do you dress provocatively?
No, I don't think so. Do you think I do?
Man, I think you dress appropriately for your age. Do you let the guys hang all over you?
I don't think so.
Okay, so probably the reason they're doing it is because it upsets you. Mm-hmm. They can probably tell that it upsets you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you how to get them to stop. Now, to do this, I'm going to not do exactly what happens because they talk to you. You don't approach them. But I hope you'll get the idea. Call me a slut and don't let me stop you.
You're a slut.
I'm not a slut.
You are. You're always. You're a total slut.
I'm not a slut at all.
Yeah, you are. You're like with everybody.
What are you talking about? I'm not with everybody. Yeah. I'm not with anybody that way.
You're. Everybody talks about you and how you do things with guys all the time.
That is not true. That's a big fat lie.
No, it's not. Everybody talks about you.
But it's not true. I don't do anything with guys.
That's not what everybody else says.
Well, they're lying.
Well, maybe they are, but everybody thinks you're a slut.
But I'm not. Okay, is this going to get you to stop calling me a slut?
Right, now.
Now we're going to do it again, and this time I'm going to respond differently. Start again.
So let me say. So you're a slut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Do you believe them?
Yeah.
If you want to believe them, how can I stop you?
You can't.
No, I can't. If you want to believe it, it's up to you.
Yeah. So why are you so slutty?
How am I slutty?
Everybody talks about how you do things with guys all the time.
Really? And you believe them?
Yeah.
If you want to believe them, I can't stop you.
Well, I guess that's up to you.
What's up to me?
If you want to believe it.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want. People believe all kinds of nonsense.
So you don't want to defend yourself? You don't want to, you're okay with people thinking you're a slut?
How can I stop them?
I don't know.
I can't. If they can say whatever they want about me.
Well, they are.
I can't stop them.
No.
Okay. Are you having fun this time?
No.
What's really going on, if you're my daughter and kids are calling you slut, they can sense that it bothers you. Mm-hmm. They talk about you. They see by your mannerism that you don't like it. Maybe even talk to some friends and say, they'll call me slut. It's not right. So word gets back to them. But if you try to, you can't stop people from believing what they want to believe. But the real reason they're doing it to you is because it upsets you, and they have fun if you get upset. So let them say it all they want. And if somebody says you're a slut, you can say you believe that. If they say yes, you say, well, I can't stop you. If you say no, then if they say no, then you say good. But stop trying to defend yourself. It's a mistake to defend yourself. Now, one of the things, I have a series of rules that I call how to turn your enemies into friends. You can't get people to treat you like friends if you treat them like an enemy. But we have all kinds of automatic responses that are biologically programmed to us from our days of life in nature. And we do them today, and instead of helping us win, they make us lose. Probably the most common mistake that people make when they're being put down is to defend themselves. It's a natural instinct to defend yourself. But when you defend yourself, you're doing two things. One is you're treating the person like an enemy because we defend ourselves from enemies. So if you're telling me I'm a slut and I'm saying it's not true, I'm against you. You're trying to tell me something about me. I'm trying to say you're wrong. I'm against you. I'm treating you like an enemy. But secondly, if I defend myself, I automatically lose because it's the weaker position. The attacker is in the stronger position. The defender is in the weaker position. So if I defend myself from this stupid rumor, it makes you want to keep on saying it because you win and it feels good to win. So the second time, instead of defending myself from the rumor, I make you defend yourself by asking you, do you believe it? Now you're on the defensive. If you want to believe a stupid rumor about me, what does it make you?
Stupid.
Yeah, so should I care if you want to make yourself stupid?
Right.
So I'll defeat you by making you defend yourself. If you say you believe it, I'll say you can believe it, I can't stop you, and I win, and you have no fun, and it fizzles out. And if you say you don't believe it, I win even bigger. So I would teach your daughter to stop defending herself. Let them say whatever she wants. Whatever they want about her.
Yeah.
Now, it's also important to realize that sometimes people do things that cause people to think badly of them. I remember once working with a girl. She was 16 years old, and she was suffering terribly. She was going out with guys, and she would discover they dump her after a few dates. Everyone, and they're talking terribly about her. It didn't occur to me to ask her this right away. But after a few sessions, I asked her, what do you do when you're with the guys? And she told me she has sex with them. She feels that if they take her out for a date and spend some money on her, she owes them sex. So what happened? She got a reputation as a slut. Right. Just take her out and she'll have sex with you. My God, but what a great present this is for young guys. So she brought it upon herself, and she couldn't understand why guys would go out with her and then they would treat her like garbage because they didn't want to be seen as the boyfriend of the slut. They were taking advantage of her. So let's say your daughter dresses provocatively. She wears these tight yoga pants and she wears a short, tight shirt that shows her stomach. And other kids her age aren't doing this. Well, kids are going to call her a slut. So maybe sometimes the kid has to decide, maybe I should change the way I dress.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that I think is important, is that self-reflection and looking back, say, so what is true here, what is not true, and how do I parse that out and actually be self-reflective, because we want that to happen as well. We don't want for people to just assume that whatever people are using as insults is untrue. And for the record, my daughter hasn't, to my knowledge, nobody has called her a slut. But I mean, there are certain things that she's experiencing. You know, it might be around some of her clothing, which she has some choice in and not choice in, and those kinds of things. So those dynamics are at play, I think, probably more pronounced in middle school, and maybe differently in high school age, and then continue on into adulthood as well. So what are some of the things that make it hard for kids to respond in the ways that you're trying to help them respond?
They don't know how to respond this way. Nobody has taught them. The reason that people get into these problems is not because they're stupid or there's something wrong with them. The reason they get into these problems is because of their biological reactions. To understand this, you have to realize that we're animals. Yes, we're more incredible than any animals, but we have animal bodies, and we have, our ancestors go back to the days long before civilization, when we were living in nature in the jungle. In nature, if you attack me, I have to defend myself. Otherwise, you may kill me. I may have to attack you back, or you might kill me. So in nature, it's necessary to treat people like enemies if they're treating us like enemies, because they might kill us. So we're hardwired to treat people like enemies when they do things against us. And this includes insults and rumors and stuff. But today, if we go by our animal instincts, which are our natural instincts, they make us lose. And it's not because we're stupid, it's because we're just doing what comes naturally. So if you call me fatso and I naturally start defending myself, it's not true, don't call me fatso. Instead of my winning, I lose. You're not afraid of me. I'm not going to send you to the hospital. You'll call the police on me. So you don't have to be afraid of me. Today, you can take advantage of my own biological programming against me. I'm programmed to get angry and defensive when you put me down in order to win. But I lose when I get angry and defensive. So we have to teach kids the rules for winning in civilization. We have to go against our natural instincts sometimes, and then we end up being winners. So when you teach it to kids, they can get it.
So then let's shift to adults and especially educators. What should and could, in your estimation, schools do differently in trying to help kids navigate these kinds of dynamics? And does it change from elementary age to middle school age to high school age as it progresses?
Now, the dynamics are the same, but the content changes. The kinds of things that concern elementary school kids and the things that might upset them are different from the things that they're concerned with when they're in high school. It's different. Elementary school kids are not going to put each other down for being, prostitutes or sluts or something like that, because it's not in their mind. When they're older, they're getting into guys and girls, and they're more sensitive about this stuff. But the dynamics are the same. But you wanted to know what schools can do about it. Mm-hmm. Now, kids go to school to learn math, science, social studies, reading. Is it the job of the schools to protect kids from math, science, social studies, reading, or to prepare them for handling the challenges of reading, math, science, etc.?
Of course, the latter.
Yeah, you're not supposed to protect them from the academic challenges of life. Life has social challenges, and it happens throughout life. Even married people have trouble getting along with each other. So kids deserve to be taught how to deal with the social challenges of life, and it's not hard. If you teach them how to deal with these challenges, then they know how to deal with it, and then you prevent most problems from happening. So when I work in a school, I address all of the kids, at least from second grade and up, sometimes first grade and up, and I teach them how to deal with all of the common aggressive kind of situations. And this way, most kids learn how to deal with it. If I work in the school full time, I will tell the kids that if they need extra help, they can come to my office. I'll help you, individually. And the second thing that the school needs to do is to teach the staff how to respond in an effective way instead of a destructive way when kids complain they're being bullied. Most adults do the wrong thing. And in fact, today, school personnel are being required by law to do the wrong thing. This is what happens. Let's say I'm your teacher, and Drew, you come to tell me that Johnny is calling you an idiot.
Okay.
So that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So my job now is to confront Johnny why he's calling you an idiot. Drew, when I confront Johnny, is he going to admit that he's guilty?
Most likely not.
Okay. He's probably going to blame you and say that you're lying. Is he going to like you if I confront him for calling you an idiot?
No.
He's going to hate you because you got the teacher against him.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's angry at you and he wants to get back at you for getting him in trouble. So he'll do something worse to you. And you'll come to me again and I'll reprimand him again and punish him again. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And here I am trying to help you, and without realizing it, I'm making the hostilities escalate. But today I'm mandated by law to do this. So there's a better way of handling it. Come to me and tell me Johnny called you an idiot.
Mr. Kalman, Johnny called me an idiot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you believe him?
I think he. I don't like that he said it.
Yeah, but do you believe him?
No, I'm not an idiot.
No, I don't either. I think you're smart.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I think I'm smart, but I
I
don't know.
think so too. Does he do it to you a lot?
Yeah.
Or do you want him to stop?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think he calls you an idiot?
I don't know.
Okay, let me show you. I'm going to play a game with you. Call me an idiot and don't let me stop you.
Mr. Kalman, you're an idiot.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm smart.
No, you're an idiot.
I'm not an idiot. Don't call me an idiot.
Yeah, you are. You're an idiot.
Listen, you do it once again, I'm going to tell the teacher on you.
Go tell the teacher, tattletale.
I'm not a tattletale. I'm telling. Telling is the right thing. It's not tattling.
Yeah, tattletale.
Okay. Am I making you want to stop calling me an idiot?
No.
Now we're going to do it again. I'm going to treat you differently.
Mm-hmm. You're an idiot.
Start again.
Yeah, you're an idiot, Mr. Kalman.
Well, I happen to think you're smart.
Yeah, I am smart.
Yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
That's what you believe?
That's what everybody believes. Everybody knows you're an idiot.
If you want to believe it, I can't stop you.
Well, there we go.
It's over. The second way, do you want to keep on calling me an idiot?
On the second one, no.
Which way was more fun for you?
Yeah, the first is again, that's more fun, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny's not calling you an idiot because that's what you are. He's calling you an idiot because when you get upset, he has fun.
Yeah.
So let him do it all he wants. Don't get upset. It'll be no fun for him, and he'll stop doing it after a while.
So what do you...
Try it for a couple of days and come and tell me what happened.
Yeah. So what do you say when... I imagine there's folks who push back on this thing that it's a pretty simple, limited in scope way to respond. I mean that it's more nuanced, it's more complex, that bullies are gonna just push through that and they'll keep doing it, and that this is just not enough.
If you're picking on me and I'm not getting upset and you go on and on and on, who's winning?
Nobody really, but the bully is getting what?
I'm not getting upset.
Yeah.
If you're getting me upset, you are winning, and you're going to keep on doing it. You can't keep on picking on me if it doesn't bother me. We have this idea that bullies are these like automatons that, without any control, just go on and on and on being mean. That's nonsense. They're people. We have to stop thinking of people as bullies. Everybody is a bully. We have to stop using this word. It's a mistake. I turned you into a bully over and over again during this session. I had you insult me in a number of different ways. When I would get upset, you went on and you were laughing. I turned you into a bully. I brought out the bully in you. But the second way I would do things, no matter how hard you tried, very quickly you stop picking on me. But then you like me better and you respect me more because I'm in self-control. But I'm being nice to you, so I'm in control. So this idea that bullies are just going to keep on doing it is nonsense. But another thing, Drew, imagine a situation. You're picking on me in front of a bunch of people, and I'm calm and happy and relaxed, and I'm being nice back to you. Are the people watching going to think there's something wrong with me or with you?
Probably the one who is doing the bullying.
Yeah, they'll think you're a jerk. What's this guy doing? This guy, he's making a fool of himself. So I have no reason to stop you from bullying me, as long as it's verbal and it's not causing me objective harm. I'll let you go on all you want. You're going to defeat yourself. You're going to look like a big fool. Everybody's going to think you're a jerk.
Yeah, so when it does cross over into that objective harm, so somebody putting their hands on somebody, pushing, shoving, hitting, then that's when this kind of thing reaches its limits.
Not necessarily. It depends what you do to me physically. Kids are very physical. If we're adults, let's say we're teachers in a school and you push me, that's serious. Adults don't do this kind of stuff for no good reason. But kids do this stuff because kids are much more physical than adults are. And the younger they are, the more physical they are. If you've had little children when they're 2, 3 years old, they push each other, they pull each other's hair, they're very physical. Mm-hmm. So we don't treat kids' physical attacks the same way as adult physical attacks. But this is what I teach kids to do. Let's say, Drew, you just pushed me. I'm not hurt, but you pushed me hard. Mm-hmm. I'll ask you, are you mad at me?
Okay.
Are you mad at me? So either you're not mad at me, you're just doing it for the fun of it. If you're not mad at me, you'll realize you have no good reason to keep on pushing me. Mm-hmm. If you are mad at me, it means you feel you're my victim. Because if you're angry at me, you feel I did something wrong to you, and that's why you're pushing me. So I turn it from a physical situation into a verbal one by asking you, are you mad at me? So if you are mad at me, you'll tell me, yeah, you were talking to my girlfriend. Oh, who's your girlfriend? Susie, my girlfriend. Oh, I didn't realize you're so lucky. She's really cute. But I'll get you talking about it. And if I did something to offend you, I'll apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit on her. I'm not trying to steal her from you. But I'll turn into a verbal situation by asking you, are you mad at me? Now, if you come over and you take a baseball bat and you hit me with it, I'm not going to ask you, are you mad at me? For that, you should get punished. That's a crime. Causing people injury causes objective harm. That's a crime. There's no excuse for it. But if you push me because you're mad at me, I'll ask you why you're mad at me. I don't have to get you in trouble for that.
Right. And so I would imagine that some of the challenges here in helping kids do this is having those reactions, which for some kids, and this is maybe not in the bullying relationship, but if somebody pushes, a reaction is to push back or become physical back and escalate that, which may or may not be a bullying situation because there's not necessarily a power dynamic there in play. But go ahead.
I want to stop you. This business with power imbalances is foolishness. It's irrelevant. There are always imbalances of power. There's no such thing as two people who have exactly the same power.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't use it either. Let's say I'm the school principal,
Mm-hmm.
and you come and tell me, Johnny took a baseball bat and he hit me over the head with it. But I look at you and I tell you, now you're bigger than Johnny. That's not bullying. He didn't do anything wrong to you. You're stronger than him. It's irrelevant what the power imbalance is.
Well, I was saying that in this context. So, let's say if somebody pushes my daughter and she's high school age, she's much more physically imposing than my daughter. Either of my daughter's ability to push back and sort of match that physical response with something equal or feeling like you could fight back is reduced, right? So it's much less likely that if a high school girl pushes one of my daughters that she's going to push back physically, whereas my daughters are 10 and 12. If one pushes, the other is fairly equal in physical size and stature, she could push back. And so I would say that's more likely, right? So
but they can still get into a fight. And you can also, bullying is when you're picked on over and over again by the same people.
Right.
That's what bullying is. So we can be 12 years old when we're pretty much the same strength, and you push me all the time, and I'm pushing you back, and I'm getting upset. If I'm not seriously injuring you, and I'm not hurting you, but I'm getting upset when you push me, you're going to keep on pushing me. Because I know I'm not allowed to injure you. If I get you injured, I'm going to be in really serious trouble. So it doesn't matter. You can be twice my size. If you push me, I'll ask you, "Oh, are you mad at me, Drew?" I'll treat you like a friend.
Right.
Just because you're bigger and stronger than me, it doesn't mean that I can't use my brain to get you to stop pushing me.
So what about the pushback that I imagine you get where people say, because in some sense here, we're talking about incentivizing or disincentivizing a behavior of a bully, right? So if there's no incentive to continue bullying and calling you names or whatever that behavior is, it runs out of gas and we stop. So I would imagine there are people who say, yeah, Izzy, that makes sense, but what you're saying is it's the victim, quote unquote, it's the victim's fault here. They are allowing themselves to be bullied.
You can only blame. First of all, this idea of blaming is a legalistic idea. If I take you to court, I have to blame you. So in the legal view, blaming is appropriate. But it's not an appropriate way of thinking when it comes to social interactions. Blaming doesn't help. We want to solve problems. Blaming, if I have a problem with you and I blame you, it's not going to solve my problem. You'll just be angry at me. If I blame myself, it's not going to solve my problem either. I'll just be angry at me. It's not a matter of blaming. It's a matter of understanding why I'm having this problem. I'm getting angry, I'm being defensive because I want kids to stop picking on me. But I learned through these role plays that doesn't work. That's what's causing the problem to continue. And I also learned that if I stop getting angry and I stop being defensive and I stop attacking you, then you stop picking on me and you like me better and you respect me more. So this idea of who is to blame is irrelevant. For crimes, you have to know who to blame. If you hit me with your car, we have to figure out who is to blame. But if kids are always insulting me, it's not a matter of who's to blame. It's a question of what do I need to do to get people to stop picking on me.
Mm-hmm. So the book is Bullies to Buddies, How to Turn Your Enemies into Friends. Looks like it is temporarily out of stock on Amazon, so I suppose that means good things for you.
Yes, it'll be ready in a few days.
Yeah.
I guarantee in a few days. I've been working on getting this ready through Amazon. Okay, I won't go into that. It'll be ready in a few days.
Okay, and let's make sure as we wrap up here how folks can find you, whether website, any social media, or anything like that.
My website is bullies2buddies.com. That's bullies 2 buddies with the number 2 in the middle. But if you make a mistake and you write TO, you'll still get there. It's full of free information for dealing with bullying. But I'm especially proud of my Psychology Today blog called Resilience to Bullying. Mm-hmm. I have over 140 articles dealing with the problems with the anti-bullying movement, but also many of them teach kids how to deal with specific problems. I have a series of articles on how a school can create moral, rational discipline, because a lot of what schools are doing today in the name of discipline is not rational or moral, and it makes everything worse. So there's a ton of information on the website you won't find anyplace else.
Okay. And if I'm a school administrator who's interested in having you work with my school, that's the place to find you?
The website.
Okay.
bullies2buddies.com.
Okay. Well, Izzy, I've enjoyed our conversation. I think it's a really important work to be done as we get away from, hopefully we can shift away from what seems to be a victimhood culture and the call-out culture, and how we help people really sort of manage their emotions a little bit differently and in a more productive way, because it's a real problem, and I don't think it's getting any better, unfortunately, with the way that our society and culture has gone. So I appreciate the time.
And I appreciate being invited to do this podcast with you, Drew.
That'll do it for today's podcast episode. Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to review us and share us on your network so we can grow our audience to better meet your needs. Also, don't forget to find us on our websites, TeachThought.com and WeGrowTeachers.com, as well as our various social media outlets.